Welcome back, guys. I'm Coach Wes. This is Warcat Fit, and I realized I never really introduced myself. Now, if you've followed my last couple of videos, I do this thing called the copycat system, where I show you an efficient way of learning how to move like the pros do. Combat sports athletes, martial artists. Eventually, we'll even touch on other things, not just combat sports. Talk about even athletic performance. Why? Because I'm actually a movement specialist. That's what I do. What is a movement specialist anyway? What that is I've studied how the body moves. And I use that with my passion of combat sports and martial arts. Let's backtrack a little history about me. I started in self-defense, learning how to defend ourselves. And I was in a system called Senshido, and we focused on how to read the body, not just physically, but even psychologically, like what are the cues on a reaction. Eventually, I will show you some tips on self-defense, little effective aspects of self-defense in the near future. But what I want to tell you today is that allowed me to learn how the body moved. Then I got my education in it, and I learned how to tie that in with my passion and exercise science as well. Because there's nothing better than learning the full potential that your body can move. Not just in combat sports, but in everyday life. Quality of life is better if you move better. Now, let's stick to the combat sports. And what we want to be able to do is to mimic what the pros do. Again, you're not necessarily going to be the best boxer, the best MMA fighter in the world. Although if that's what you want to do, go for it, and I support you fully. But what you can do is learn from the pros, learn from the movements, find out what's similar. My last video, I showed you how you can chain your shots on a bag. Today, we're gonna copy me again, and we're actually gonna follow a little bit of, not a program, but follow my logic and how I flow through my strikes a little bit more. Let's focus on the movements themselves rather than me going on about the mechanical aspects. So just follow along today. Do is warm up on the bag. When we're starting hitting the bag, we go light. We just want to work the mechanics, and this way we don't hurt ourselves. We go nice and light. So now that I feel good about how my punches are moving, how my body is moving, notice how I was just focusing on my hands, my technique, make sure my hands come back to protect my face at all times. I'm focusing on my waist rotation, hip rotation, movement. I want to make sure that all my movements make sense. And it's logic. And like in my last video, I talked about just focusing on the three punches, jab, cross, and the hook, because that allows you to learn how to move, and they can easily be replaced by something else so that you can change it up. So let's do that now, where I show variations of the movement that still show how similar they are to the jab, cross, and hook. So what did you guys see there? Did you see the common movements between my slip and my jab? Just my body. The body moves the same way. The only difference is my extension, in this case, my arm and my hands, change. So instead of throwing my jab, I slip. So there's a slight exaggeration, but the general movement is the same, at least when it comes to my torso. This is what the pros do because they use movements that are familiar to them that allows them to adapt to other strikes. You get me? Let's be a little more dynamic in this one, and let's add some movement to our striking. So notice how I stepped, moved, and then I threw my strikes in between. That's what you want to be able to do. But notice again, if you watch my movement, everything made sense. I didn't just move for the sake of moving. I moved so that I was in a position to do something else. So if I stepped, notice I was loaded off of that step and I could throw a hook, or I stepped to this side, I was loaded to throw my cross, and so on. I was playing with that. So you got to do the same if you want to make your bag work more dynamic. So that was me freestyling a little bit.
All up in the ring and now I'm boxing. Even from a distance I know that they saw me. I swing in the ring like my name Muhammad Ali. Yeah.
Not that kind of freestyle, although that's dope as f. But freestyling on the bag, everything was improvised. I only did that in one take each. So I just hope you could see the raw nature of my movement, but I still maintain that technical aspect. And notice I stuck to just 3 shots, the jab, cross, and the hook. That allows me to venture into other things when I tie it in with my movement. Now, again, the movement is crucial. Learning the mechanics of each movement allowed me to develop and adapt to different aspects. You want to make sure your offense and your defense is indistinguishable between the other. What I mean by that is the movement themselves. You want to be able to hide your offense behind your defense, and you want to hide your defense behind your offense, so that your opponents, if you're interested in fighting, won't know where your strikes are coming from and won't know what you're ready for on a counterattack. Now, and even if you're a noob and you're just doing this for fun, you're just a hobbyist, you at least learn to move like how the pros do. And what I hope you gain from this video is learning that importance of understanding the human body and movement, no matter what it is, even if it's not combat sports or martial arts. Understanding how the body moves has such high value for yourself. You learn more about yourself. You'd be surprised. So if you like this content and you want to see more, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if there's something you'd like to see, please leave something in the comments and I'll try to cover it for you. So until next time, peace. A little tip, you want to be able to have your offense and defense be indistinguishable. You want your offense. I was saying I only took one take to do the thing, but I'm taking a million takes just to do this closing part. You want to make sure that your offense and your defense is indistinguishable.